going on, everybody? Looking at this AuxBeam control unit. I'm going to put it on the truck. It's a light controller. It's basically just a switch box, but it has its own dedicated fuse block with relays and everything built in to simplify adding lights and things to your off-road or overland vehicle or whatever it is that you do. If you remember, I put those rigid lights on the hood of my truck. It's the only accessory I've really done to it that needed extra wiring, and that's pretty basic install. Those being LEDs, that didn't even recommend to put a relay in, but kind of been leery about that, and I wanted something a little more expandable. And yeah, so this thing is actually pretty cool. We're going to take a look at it. They are sponsoring this video, and there is a promo code for 10% off. Use the link in the video description and use code RCEveryday44. Get 10% off your purchase. They have light bars and LED pod lights and round lights and a whole bunch of stuff like that. Haven't got to try any of the lights yet, but this thing looks pretty cool. So we're going to take a look at this and get it installed on the truck today. So sorry about the mess here on the workbench. I just needed somewhere to unbox this. This is the money maker here. This is a 8-gang switch controller. It's got its own power. Notice all the buttons are blank. It has a sheet of really durable feeling stick-on things for different things. You got lockers, you got winches, windshield lights, rock lights, every little thing, horns. Pretty cool. So you can outfit it and organize it however you want. This is the fuse block with relays built in, and pretty simple setup here. Not sure what that wire is. We'll have to read the instructions. But basic stuff here. We've got different amp ratings on the fuses. Nice solid metal unit. Does come with this nice mounting bracket. So hopefully mounting this in the truck will be nice and easy. We've got some extra fuses. We've got some hardware. We've got some pretty heavy gauge wire with a built-in relay or fuse, a fusible link. Did come with extra fuses for that as well. What gauge is this? I don't know. Looks about like 8 gauge. A lot better than what I'm running right now. And the control unit here, you can run the wire either direction. Has this little mounting bracket. You could do a lot of different custom things with it. You could mount it flush. You could mount it underneath your dash, angled up. Not sure yet where that's going to go, but we'll figure it out. And we've got some large shrink tube for the power wires, and I'm guessing this fuse jumper here is going to be for our dimmer controls for this, if I had to fancy a guess. So it's got a really nice wire. This runs from the fuse box all the way to the controller. One wire in the truck, real clean and simple. Does have these waterproof, I'm not sure they're waterproof, but water resistant connections. It does have a little O-ring on there, so yeah, that's pretty nice. And that simplifies the installation. You got one wire running in the cab. You don't have to put a bunch of holes in your firewall. I already have a spot where I ran the wires in for the other switch, so I'll be reusing that area. It already has a gasket and everything. And we're just gonna figure out where to mount the controller, where to mount the fuse relay box, and how it's all gonna go in. So let's pack all this up, get out in the shop. I've got to move some stuff around, get the truck in there, and we can sweat our butts off and get this thing installed. Alright guys, it's been about an hour and a half, partially because I had to undo what was already done. So my light, I got one on this side of the hood, one on this side. They run underneath the cowl, just clamped on here with these little metal clips. The wire splits about here, so that's why we've got 2 wires going under up here. And then one comes down and goes up to this light, one goes across to that light. I've got everything routed. Got the harness wire going inside. This was about the best spot I could do. Just bolted it to the top of the fuse blocks. That would have gotten close, so I had to put it to the inside. Clears just fine. Mounted the breaker or switch, fuse box, the inline fuse there. And yeah, just self-tap that in. It's not a big deal. The wires both come out from under there. I didn't have any terminals. This is a quad terminal battery. These have the bolt on, and it also does have post on top. But I didn't have any terminals to run that directly to, so I wired it up like I did my previous one. Underneath the fuse box lid, you take the whole cover off. There's 2 terminals underneath there. That's where the trailer brakes and things are wired in. And I ran the ground back up here where I had the lights grounded before to the firewall where the hood grounds to. Works fine. I've already tested the lights and they're no problem. I put those on 4, which is only a 5 amp fuse, and it's not an issue. Those are very low wattage. I mean, they're just two LED pods. Nothing super big, and I can still pop my fuse cover off. You can see here, it does have an accessory jumper, and I routed that to, which one? It says TBC ignition. It was a 10 amp, and I jumped that down. I clearanced the box a little bit to run that wire down through there so it didn't get smashed. And that's what comes up over here with the other line and goes up, and that's what allows it to not work without the key. You could do it either way. The backlight on the display did stay on. I had it routed to a different fuse. I think I had it to the radio fuse, and the backlight stayed on until the radio went off after however many 5 minutes or whatever the time was on it. And I didn't opt to do that because I'm worried about battery consumption. But yeah, a little thing I had to do that I didn't expect. But that'll hold just fine. It's not the tightest fit, but it's easy to get to. I can add to it very easily, which I'm hoping to do. I've got some random LED lights I'd like to put underneath the truck just for ambient lighting, so when I'm out at my land in the middle of the night, I can have something come on and kind of see what's going on. I don't need something directly on me because the bugs will get you, but other than that, everything's pretty simple. I didn't trim the power wire. I just zip tied it underneath the base cover of the fuse block. It goes to a terminal in there. It had terminal ends already on it, so I didn't want to try to cut it down and do anything with that. And yeah, it seems to be working just fine. I am hoping to get another vehicle here before long. I need something. This truck has been awesome, but she's not the best off-roader. And I'm hoping to get something used and then I gotta worry about beating up. And we may move this system over to it. So that's another reason I didn't go too in-depth in wiring it, because maybe taking it off, putting it on something else, because I'm gonna buy a whole bunch more lights when I use what I already got. But now it's time to move on to the inside. So you can see I've got the wire routed through my hole in the firewall, running up here to the seat. I had it plugged in to check it. These are very bright, but it is auto dimming. It has a light sensor here, and the sun is setting. When I first opened the door, they lit up really, really bright, and then they dimmed down. It is off right now. Turn on the ignition. So you can see, you put it in brighter light, they light up better. Put it in the dark, they dim down. If you cover that sensor, they dim down even more. So pretty nice. It does it on its own. It's nice not having to splice into your radio wiring and things like that. I do have it on bank 4. So those 2 lights do work. So now it's time to look at where we're gonna put it. I really think it would be cool somewhere in here. It doesn't fit very well anywhere in this truck. So, I don't know, do some brainstorming, see what we come up with. All right guys, got it all hooked up. We've got our hood lights and added some underneath lights. Just one will help while I'm camping. So this is a really cool setup. I like the controller a lot. A lot of room to grow. So if you're interested in these, check them out in the link below. Get 10% off. RC Everyday 44 is the code. Hope to add some more lights. I'm looking for a new vehicle. I don't know if I'm ready to sell the truck yet, but I want something a little more off-road worthy to pull the trailer up to the land with. And yeah, I'm gonna bring this thing over with it because it's a really simple way to add lights. So anyways, see y'all in the next video. Keep a scale or keep it 1-to-1, whatever.